It's being called the biggest security breach in history.
Data breach in history. Your email information might be in the hands of hackers who stole it from thousands of companies.
This crisis at Sony, which they're calling an external intrusion, is now being labeled by critics as one of the biggest data breaches of its type.
Email marketing firm Epsilon has confirmed a security breach has possibly exposed the names and email addresses of millions of customers of some big-name companies.
2,500 companies use Epsilon to manage their email communications, including Best Buy, Walgreens, Kroger, Citigroup, JP Morgan Chase, and TiVo.
It's very concerning. It's very concerning, yes.
Many companies are sending out emails.
Notice from Chase Bank.
Like this one, letting Chase customers know their email information could have fallen into the wrong hands. Chase joins a growing list: U.S. Bank, Capital One, Home Shopping Network, Best Buy, Walmart, Walgreens, and Kroger, which owns QFC. All of them work with an online marketing firm in Dallas called Epsilon. It sends out billions of promotional emails for more than 2,500 companies. Hackers broke into their database and got millions of customer names and email addresses, setting up the scenario for scams.
The biggest concern is that users will be bombarded with spam emails and phishing scams, where a hacker attempts to trick users into providing personal data using fake websites.
The hackers first gathered information about RSA staff from social networking sites. They used this to target two groups of low-level employees via email. Access was gained when one staffer opened a booby-trapped Excel file, which installed the Poison Ivy remote access tool through a flaw in Adobe Flash. The hackers then worked their way up through access levels to servers containing information on how RSA's secure ID system works. The information was then harvested, encrypted, and extracted. Experts believe the information was used to gain access during the recent hack attack on U.S. defense contractor Lockheed Martin.
Epsilon is 100% at fault, and the dangers shouldn't be downplayed. To say no financial information has been stolen is, well, understating the massive breach and concern. Some of the most fundamental steps of protecting consumer data were not taken here, such as encrypting consumer databases and requiring two-factor authentication for data access.
Exciting about Strikeforce Technologies, the people around the company, from the executive team to the technology team to the marketing team, the world-class advisory board. These are serious people looking to solve serious problems. Strikeforce Technologies is an innovator in the prevention of online identity theft and data breaches. This is becoming a global emergency. It goes way beyond basic hacking. Every 3 seconds, someone's identity is stolen. I've never seen a situation where the moons and stars have aligned at one time for a company like they have for Strikeforce. Internet security stocks have been on a tear for two reasons. The first is the constant news of security breaches, and the second is the continual trend of smaller, innovative players being acquired. Take a look at the news on any given day, and what do you see? Epsilon, the industry's leading marketing service firm, breached. Sony, breached. Second largest data breach in U.S. history. Oak Ridge National Lab, breached. The Hartford, breached. Google Mail, breached. And the list goes on and on. We are really excited about the potential of both the products and the company. We've been using Guarded ID at Wide World of Stocks for a little while now, and it really does give you peace of mind knowing your keystrokes are completely protected. Guarded ID protects you at the source with crypto color. The field turns green and you know you're protected. Share price and current market value may be small, but the management team is anything but. Let's take Mark Kay, Strikeforce's Chief Executive Officer. 26 years at JP Morgan, which is unquestionably one of the most prestigious financial institutions in the world. In his tenure, he rose to the rank of Managing Director, Chief Operating Officer, and CIO. He's a recognized expert in proprietary trading, global custody services, and cash management, including money transfer and demand deposit, which is at the heart of today's data breaches. So you have the former MD of JP Morgan, now the CEO and chairman of a small publicly traded startup specializing in the prevention of keylogging and of authentication. I'll take my chances with him. How about George Waller, one of the founders of Strikeforce and the current head of marketing? While he was at an East Coast-based incubator called InfoPro, George made the headlines for finding and selling a startup called Cascom for $102 million. The entire process took less than a year. Now let's talk about technology, what Strikeforce is all about. The inventor of out-of-band authentication, he spent 9 years as chief architect at Bell Labs. He started and sold his own computer security company called Computer Security Systems. He's the co-founder of Strikeforce and now holds the position of chief technology officer and inventor of Strikeforce's cutting-edge technology. And that's Ram Pemaraju. He came to George with his next great thing after the Cascom acquisition. George immediately recognized the potential, and that's how Strikeforce was founded. So you have Mark, George, and Ram, the perfect mix of business, marketing, and technology, all working to position this company to strike while the iron is so hot. Of all the authentication technologies on the market, research groups like Gartner and Forrester and others all endorse out-of-band two-layer authentication as the strongest of all the ways to prevent keyloggers from stealing your data. Keystroke encryption has emerged as the only preventative approach. Strikeforce Technologies is the innovator of both.
And good day, everybody. I'm Damon Roberts, and welcome to another edition of Wide World of Stocks, scanning the globe in hopes of discovering the next huge mover that's only being held back by their inability to gain visibility on Wall Street. Let me bring in the chief analyst for Wide World of Stocks, and of course, that's Mr. Roland Perry. Roland's been on Wall Street for 35 years. He's head of research at Institutional Analyst, an independent research and IR firm, and he's the editor of the Internet Stock Review. Next up on the list would be one of the more recognized names in the sector, and that would be McAfee, symbol MFE.
Damon, we don't have a chart on this one. That's because it recently was acquired for $48 per share, or $7.1 billion by chip maker Intel. That's the largest of Intel's acquisitions in its 42-year history, sending the shares soaring 60% from $30 when the offer was announced in August. A month later, ArcSight, symbol ASRT, by the way, was acquired by Hewlett-Packard for $1.5 billion.
Wow, so you have $8 billion of acquisitions in a two-month period. This is a hot sector. All right, and finally, our featured company of the day here on Wide World of Stocks, Strikeforce Technologies, symbol SFOR. We are so excited about the potential of both the product and the company. We have an exclusive interview with the CEO coming up in the next segment, so everybody can learn, number one, how to protect themselves against keylogging viruses, but more importantly, to learn about this company directly from management.
You're absolutely right, Damon. Strikeforce has the easiest to understand and the easiest to use anti-keylogging software we have ever seen.
When we get back, like we said, the CEO of Strikeforce Technology, symbol SFOR, is going to be right here, and that's next on Wide World of Stocks.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here today, and we have a lot to talk about. Strikeforce Technologies is a company that has a couple software products that prevent identity theft. They're huge in today's marketplace. They're fully in production, plus a couple of products are working in research, and we're very excited with what's going on in today's marketplace. And we're best at creating these kinds of products. Therefore, we're leveraging the channel strategy big time. We have major players out there as distributors and resellers. And if you look at the past of all these various hacks, we've got Heartland Payment Systems, TJ Maxx, Epsilon, and various others, and now Sony, which we're not sure of the cause yet, but all the others were caused and written up as keyloggers being the core of these messages that our product goes a very long way to help prevent. I mean, we're in a market, I think, as Roland said earlier, where there's a lot of M&A going on that's heating up tremendously in the security space. We're smack in it with two solutions that are exactly what people are looking for to solve today's problems. I don't think we're better positioned, other than we need to get more of these deals done and announced within the next couple of years, to be bought out.
Essentially, out-of-band is the separation of the username from the password. Today, when you're logging into your computer at the office or over the internet, you're sending your username along with the password, and you're sending them over the internet. What we did to make that more safer and more secure is we separated the two, and we send them over two separate channels. So you use your username to log in on your computer, and then with our technology, in essentially 1 second, your phone will ring, something that everyone in the world has, a phone, and it'll ask you to authenticate. So your username goes on IP over the computer, but your password basically is sent over the phone, a separate channel. So the separation is what makes it so unique and so secure, and that's what our patent is about.
All right, welcome back to the show. As part of this special edition on Internet security, we've invited some of the leading experts and members of Strikeforce's advisory board to join us in a discussion about the recent explosion of identity theft and data breaches. And joining us on the phone right now is Steve Cooper. He's the chairman of Strikeforce Technologies Advisory Board. He's the first CIO of Homeland Security appointed by President George W. Bush, and he's a renowned government technology expert. And Steve, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us today. And my first question would be, how did you get to learn about Strikeforce, and why did you accept the role of chairman of the advisory board?
I liked the company very much. Once I learned a little bit about their products, I met their management team, and I also like kind of their approach to business and what they stand for. I also believe they have something truly unique that will gain greater acceptance and importance in today's world.
Joining us now is Roger Van Vlissingen, president of Security Bit by Bit.
Roger, how do you see PinPay and the other business partners that you're working with benefiting from Strikeforce's technologies?
Well, it's on several levels. It's both the Guarded ID product, which is for the consumer to protect their own stuff, make sure that nobody else gets the keys to the kingdom, so to speak. And on a system level, again, to do the authentication, where we're active both in online payments and in mobile payments. And in both cases, it's very important that you have adequate control on that the person doing the payment is actually authorized to that account. And that's the bottom line. And Strikeforce is the solution for that.
To learn more about Strikeforce Technologies, read company filings, press releases, visit them on the web at www.strikeforcetech.com. That's www.strikeforcetech.com. And to purchase your own copy of Guarded ID, visit them on the web at www.guardedid.com. That's guardedid.com, and start protecting your keystrokes immediately. All right. Well, that's going to do it for the show this week. I'm your host, Damon Roberts, and until next time, remember, information is knowledge, knowledge is power, right here on the Wide World of Stocks.